mentioned, my name is Helen Lessick. I'm the Director of Civic Art and Design. And what we do in Civic Art is create artwork for all Houstonians, for yourselves as artists, administrators, and for your families, and for the people who teach your kids, and for the people who take out our trash, and for the people who buy our groceries. Our Civic Art program serves all communities, all peoples in Houston, and all our visitors. Next slide. So, we're often asked, what is civic art? We in Civic Art do two different things. The Civic Art and Design program was established to be the city's partner to implement the Civic Art Ordinance, which is a 1.75% for art allocation from capital improvement projects. So we essentially work with the city as a contractor and then subcontract work to artists. We're also responsible for the conservation of the city's art collection. So we build new pieces, but we take care of cultural heritage. One of the important elements in what we do is to take care of the things that our predecessors from the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 1930s have donated, created, and generously given to the city of Houston. You'll see some examples of that later. We also work on arts policy for the city and review temporary art proposals for city art facilities, as well as look at how policies can be implemented to help different city agencies, including the Convention Center, General Services, and the Houston Airport, create and enhance civic art for the city of Houston through government. What Civic Art and Design does for the Houston Arts Alliance is a program that advocates for visual artists and art. We are a voice for artists in the community. We do more than fund and work through city ordinances, but we create exhibitions in City Hall and in Space 125 Gallery. We provide artist workshops so we can do outreach and education to working artists in this community to tell them about other opportunities as well as our own, and to give them a leg up in creating great civic art for our city. We also have a visual artist image bank that is a digital image bank that is open to professional artists who have had experience doing exterior works or interior applications. And we also do independent projects. As has been mentioned, we are a nonprofit. So we work with other entities, including nonprofit groups such as our tax increment zones and universities, to help put artwork throughout our facilities and campuses. Next slide, please. Who is public art? Well, of course, the audience for public art is all of us. But I was really told to focus today on the projects that will be coming up in Houston in the next 18 months. So here they're just listed alphabetically. You'll see the first is our Houstonian heritage guy, Reginald Adams, who is in the audience today. Really thrilled to say thank you so much, Reginald, for your work and effort. We also have artists, we have, well, of course, as you all recall, our first civic art project at Houston Arts Alliance debuted about 10 months ago. That's Texas artist Margot Sawyer for Synchronicity of Color at Discovery Green. Our next project will begin a little bit later, our next project after that. Essentially, what I'd like to do is, well, our projects are open to local, regional, national, and international artists, and it depends on the opportunity, our client department, our partner, and the amount of money we have available. Next slide, please. So what I'd like to do is just show you 3 different projects that you'll be able to see, to look forward to in the next few months. Mr. Adams' work, the Blossoms of Kashmir Gardens, I'm sorry, I got that title wrong, Reginald, will be opening in next month, February 2009. The commission was awarded in May 2008. Reginald worked intensely over the summer with community groups as well as with our contracting ability to get the project under design, working with the sacred geometry that he's been very interested in for many years, and working with community members to actually create designs, create mosaics that will be applied to this Health and Human Services facility in Kashmir. The work takes time, because this is a permanent public art project that will be here next year, and in 5 years, and in 20 years. Next project. Houston artist Sharon Eggleston is also designing a project. The contract was awarded in June 2008. Her work is being integrated into a new surface animals facility for the Houston Police Department. Sharon Eggleston is a well-known Houston artist. She's currently in a show in Baltimore. She does inflatables. For this project, the artist has gone out of her studio and into the canvas of the community, looking at civic art. And this is her first public art piece. Looking at permanent civic art as an opportunity to try new media, but yet with an eye towards the heritage of Houston. She is creating a series of cast aluminum carousel horses. There'll be 38 cast horses that reflect the 38 animals that are housed in the facility, and also 2 small dogs, because there are dogs in the facility as well. So it's very much a representational work of the use of the facility and the wonder that and the help and the integrity that the police bring to our lives and in Houston. That project will be opening in February 2010. A lot of that is because these works will be outside. They'll be in the elements, they'll be exposed to hurricanes, and the casting of the works will not take that long. The infrastructure, figuring out how to put those horses in the ground on a pole so they can survive a hurricane, tree branches, and the occasional drunk or high teenager or adult who might come by and sit on them. It might happen. Next slide. So the third example that I want to share with you is Burt Long's Art Life. As hopefully you've all seen this great work, it was installed at Luscan Neighborhood Library in November of 2008. The work received a great deal of press, and I'm proud to announce that on Tuesday, January 6th, City Council recognized Mr. Long for his lifelong service to the City of Houston and this work by calling January 6th Burt Long Day. And all of us should remember that epiphany that the council had. Mr. Long's contract was awarded in June 2007. For many reasons, this project took a little longer to make than a regular painting. One reason is because the canvas is 8 feet tall and 32 feet long. It's a significant work. Mr. Long had to rent an entire studio just to build this piece and then ship it out. You'll note too, the project is not closed out yet. Even though the work is installed, the city hasn't formally closed our contract. What we need from the artist, and he's working on, is the maintenance report and a walkthrough list, almost like a punch list from when you have a construction project, when you build a new house or have a remodel. They walk through and tell us little details they'd like attended. So these projects take a long bit of time because, again, we are looking at the 10, 20, 30, 50-year life of this painting, representing Houston and who we are now. Next. So where are we? I think I just showed you a couple of pieces that are really in the central core of Houston, in divided neighborhoods. But in 2009, we have some great projects that are coming up. And in the next 6 to 8 months, you'll hear some names from this contracting process. To create great civic art, we use several methods. One is to have an open call for artists. One is to use our artist slide bank, and one is to have a limited invitation. Again, these are each depending on the context of the work and the opportunity.